What's going on, everyone? So, according to Dan Wokey and really several others, starting to hear more and more reports about this, Clint Capela could be a real viable option for the Los Angeles Lakers this upcoming season. Chances are the Lakers are only going to have the taxpayer mid-level exception, right? Technically, LeBron could take a discount and you could free up the full mid-level, or, Dorian Finney-Smith, if he ends up walking away. Like, there's potential to open up more than just the taxpayer mid-level, but chances are, more likely than not, probably looking at the full or the taxpayer mid-level, which, finding a center at that price is tough. One of the reasons why I've talked about how more likely than not the Lakers are going to have to trade for a center. If they want a real starting caliber center, they're probably going to have to trade for that, whether it's, a Daniel Gafford or a Nick Claxton, or do you revisit the Mark Williams trade, or, in a perfect world, can you get a Walker Kessler or something like that, right? Like, are there options in that regard, right? Well, you look at kind of the way that the free agency is, not a lot of great options, right? The guys that you would want to bring in, right, are either probably too pricey or, probably best in a backup role. Clint Capela, I think you could argue, is best in a backup role, and he's probably not going to get anything more than backup roles. But that's also why these reports are starting to come out about Clint Capela, because the Lakers need a center. And if they're not able to trade for Daniel Gafford, and they're not able to trade for Nick Claxton, whether, they're just not able to, like, maybe the Dallas Mavericks are just like, hey, we're not going to trade Gafford, or, maybe, Nick Claxton, it's like, with all the money that he's making, is that the best option for us, right? Like, what do these teams want for him, for these guys, right? Like, there is a version of this where, you're able to get either of those guys easy peasy, right? Or maybe another center becomes available, or maybe Miles Turner, loses in the conference finals again, and it's like, I want to go to the Lakers, right? Type thing. Who knows? You don't know. A lot could shape up between now and, the time the season begins. But there's also a version of this where not really any options. Daniel Gafford's now off the table, and Nick Claxton, you got to pay, a first and a pick swap and Dalton Connect and Austin Reeves for, and, otherwise you can't get him, right? It's just, so there is a version where that kind of Lakers end up priced out. And the one thing that the Lakers would have at that point that other teams wouldn't is, hey, you can start for us, right? Because again, you look at a Clint Capela, he's a guy that is still one of the best rebounders in the league, one of the best offensive rebounders in the league, a guy that can be exactly what this Lakers team needs, right? Lakers don't need this super skilled big man, right? Mark Williams would have been great to have because of his age and his ability to score independently. Like, it would be nice to have a guy that isn't so Luka reliant, right? It'd be nice to have a guy you could just dump the ball down to and he could go create for himself, create for others. But, I mean, look, unless they trade Austin Reeves, that center's probably not getting 15 to 20 attempts per game, right? Like, you're probably looking for a guy to just be a lob threat, right? Like, so what do the Lakers need? They need somebody that can defend at the rim, and be a lob threat, rebound the basketball, right? Clint Capela could do all those things. Be that lob threat, be that floor runner, big, physical, strong, sturdy guy that can just, impact the game for the Lakers. And the Lakers' argument could be like, hey, like, yeah, maybe you get offered $8 million over here, or maybe you get this, that, and the other. But you know what we have that other teams don't is the ability to start you, right? Like, here, we'll start you. Here, you'll get to play 25 to 30 minutes a night, guaranteed type thing. Because Lakers are still going to run small ball, still going to do all kinds of stuff, right? And, Clint Capela is not going to go get 20 plus million a year. So, even if he's worth more than a vet minimum, right? Because again, even in what was considered a bad year, he was still almost 9-9. He was like 8.5 points and 8.5 rebounds. I think I was nearly a 9-9 guy in like limited minutes in a limited role, right? Like, so, and he's not like 36 or anything. It's still young enough to where he could be a guy for the next couple of years. Yes, he's not Houston Clint Capela anymore, but he's still a guy that can rebound the basketball with the best of them, be that lob threat, get you a steal and a block a game, and impact the game in multiple facets. He's a veteran that's been there and done that you can trust and rely on. Does he have his, pros? Absolutely. Does he have his cons? Absolutely. But I think if you told me absolute worst case scenario, Lakers ended up have Clint Capela as their starter and Jericho Sims as their backup, fine. Like, I'd be okay with that. Right? Because again, we just need a big physical interior presence, particularly in the Western Conference, where you just got all these like mammoth centers. And you look at a guy like Clint Capela, he's 6'10, 6'11, 240. Was he 240, 245? Big, physical, strong, not shy from the contact or anything like that. He's a guy I think that can help. Right? And you look at last year, 55 games played, started in 41 of those games. Now he is a guy that has played. Because you look at the 55 games and it's like, ooh, that's not great. But he played 73, 65, 74, and 63 the last handful of years besides this year. So I think that that's something that's good. As long as he's giving you, 65, 70 games a season, you're fine, right? And he's a guy that would, in my opinion, probably be more of a short-term kind of stopgap guy rather than, this big kind of like, oh, we're going to sign him for the next 5 years. I don't think it'd be anything like that. He maybe kind of takes like a prove it deal type thing, like, or like what you saw with, Malik Monk, right? Guys like that, where it's like, hey, I'm going to go bet on myself. Maybe you get something like that with the Clint Capela. But again, it's 55 games, 7.1 field goal attempts per game, shot 56% from the floor. Guy that doesn't take any threes. It's not going to give you any floor spacing, just getting lob threat type thing. So 7.1 attempts, 56% from 2-point range, 56% EFG. Free throw shooting, he is absolutely abysmal. He is a career 54.4%. Hack Capella is a thing that has been deployed before in the past. But he's a guy that averaged 8.5 rebounds, including 3.2 offensive rebounds per game. This is a guy that's nearly 4 offensive rebounds per game for his career. 1.1 assists, a steal, a block, and 9 points per game. So again, guy that was nearly 9-9 and limited minutes. You look at his per 36, which again doesn't tell you everything, but it kind of gives you an idea of what to expect. And per 36, he'd be a 15-14 guy with 2 assists, a steal, and almost 2 blocks per game. Right? That's great. That's all the Lakers need. Right? Clint Capela in a starting role for the Los Angeles Lakers is probably, a 12-10 guy for you. Right? Blocking a shot or 2 a game, getting you a steal a game, right? Getting you a bunch of offensive rebounds and putbacks. It's fine. It's all you're looking for, again, in the starting unit. So the reports of like, Clint Capela, this, that, and the other, I buy them. I believe it. It makes sense. Probably going to get him pretty cheap on a prove it deal, on a flyer, but we'll see. Time will tell. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel with your thoughts? Do you like the idea of Clint Capela? Do you hate the idea? Kind of mixed in the middle? How do you feel? Either way, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.